VYGOS is Vihangam Yoga Global Online Satsang, which is scheduled every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. Indian Standard Time. Those who would miss to attend the morning session can listen to the broadcast replay on Sunday evening at 4:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. The aim of this forum is to give the entire world an opportunity to learn the ancient science of meditation and benefit from this pious service inspired by Sadguru Sadafal Devji Maharaj, the pioneer of Vihangam Yoga. If you are interested in learning the technique or want to conduct a program at your place, and for any inquiry related to it, please feel free to write to us at info@vihangamyoga.org. That is info@vihangamyoga.org.
Jai Sadgurudev. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you. This is Subhash Chandra from Singapore, and I am the host for today's forum discussion. Thank you very much for joining us today. Our topic for today is very interesting. We are going to talk about mindfulness. What exactly it is? There are many things which are being said, told about mindfulness, but today we will discuss about it in much more detail, and we have a very good panelist with us. We have a doctor with us today to discuss about mindfulness. I will tell more detail about him. Along with him, we have other speakers and other panelists as well. We have Vijayji, we have Sankalpji, Vijayji from USA, Sankalpji is from India, and we'll talk more about them as well. But before we start for today's topic, it is our tradition that we invoke the Sadguru at the beginning of this occasion to bless us. So let us hear the Swagat Gan and Mangal Gan to start this session.
आज स्वागत नित्य गुरुवर संत शुभागम आइए, अध्यात्म विद्या दिव्य ज्योति सोमरस बरसाइए। दोष दूर गुण दूर करके शुद्ध हंस बनाइए, भेद गम गति ज्ञान गर्जन शक्ति द्वार हटाइए। खुले द्वारा शब्द सागर भक्त जन अनहवाइए, जन सदा फल विश्व शिक्षक शान आन बचाइए, शान आन बचाइए। विश्व शांति नाम मंगल परम गुरु को ध्याइए, वर्ग द्वंद्व शांति दूर कर भाव भेद मिटाइए। सार्वभौम समष्टि सत्ता त्यात्मराज बनाइए, वेश भाषा भाव जगमय ज्ञान पर दर्शाइए। समृद्धि सुख शांति धरातल स्वर्ग भूमि बनाइए, विश्व शिक्षक जन सदा फल नीतीश्वर अपनाइए, नीतीश्वर अपनाइए।
We are talking about mindfulness. Just to reveal more, the speaker for today's session is a doctor. His name is Dr. Subhash Chandra. Not me, hold on, it's not me. We have one more Dr. Subhash Chandra. Just to give a little bit of background, he is a forensic psychiatrist and based in right now New Jersey, more detail will be talked about him as well at the time when we start the discussion with him. But before that, we are going to have the Swarved couplets. And for that, we have Vijayji with us, who is born in a family who has served all the 3 generations of Sadhgurudev. Right now, he is based in USA. He is a graduate from IIT Kharagpur, India, and currently is a software engineer by profession. He is Vihangam Yoga instructor since 2007. Currently president of North America Institute of Vihangam Yoga. Vijayji, over to you for the Swarved couplet recitation and the meaning.
Jai Sadgurudev, everybody. We are discussing a topic which is of great attention these days, because everywhere there has been research of mindfulness and there have been great findings in terms of improvement in the concentration and health perspective as well. Let us understand what is the problem in achieving the state of mindfulness and how we can resolve that. We'll take the reference of Encyclopedia of Spirituality called Swarved, written by Amar Yogi Sadguru Sudafal Devji Maharaj. Swarved says, Man maya marti nahi, nahi vasana nash, यह शरीर मरी मरी गया, कर माया मन नाश. See, mindfulness is a state of being at the present moment, wherein you are aware of the presence, you are aware of your surrounding without any deviation of your mind. But what is the problem in maintaining that level of mindfulness? Sadguru Sudafal Devji Maharaj writes in Swarved, Man maya marti nahi. He says, Maya, or the disturbing subjects, stays in the mind and does not leave the mind easily. This is the reason, instead of paying complete attention to the present moment, we are lost, or majority of the time we are lost into thoughts and those maya, the subjects which run in our mind. So Sadgurudev says in next couplet, he asks, if that is the problem, if the subject, the outer subject is what is disturbing the mind all the time, he motivates people to find the solution for that. So he asks in the next questions, in the next couplet, he says, Asha Trishna kimi mare, man maya kimi nash, Ven yukti batalaiye, kavan marg satyabhas. So Sadguru Sudafal Devji Maharaj motivate people to find solution and figure out how would this attachment or the subject which is always dancing in your mind can be calmed down. How can we escape from the disturbances of these subjects which runs in the mind all the time? Go and find the solution from the master of mind. The master of mind, Sadguru, the one who has controlled his own mind and has the capability and the technique to make you control your mind. When we go and learn the technique from the master, he teaches us the technique which in a nutshell is explained in the next couplet, which is what is helping us get into the state of complete mindfulness. Sadgurudev writes in Swarved, माप नाप निश्चय भया, ठीक ठिकान निशान, मंडल से बाहर नहीं, अद्भुत खेल समान. Sadgurudev says that the technique of Vihangam Yoga is such that whatever point of concentration is given as a technique, whatever is prescribed as a practice, one is supposed to stay exactly at that point for certain length of time. And deviating even by an inch from that point of concentration is going to be the, kind of you are out of track of the prescribed meditation. So one is into the practice of Vihangam Yoga meditation, wherein they are putting complete effort in maintaining the concentration at a designated point. And the Vihangam yogi is practicing that every morning, every evening. As a result of that, they become used to be very mindful. Mindfulness is just the outcome of the technique which is taught in Vihangam Yoga, very first stage itself, where we learn what is the point of concentration, and we are also given supportive technique to condition our mind to stay at designated point for longer period of time. So over the period of 6 months or a year, when practitioner practices every morning, every evening as a practice to stay at the designated point without any deviation, that's how they inculcate the quality of mindfulness within them. So mindfulness is the initial outcome of Vihangam Yoga practice, and then Vihangam Yoga takes it further into the higher stage of Vihangam Yoga, a higher stage of meditation experiences. That's the glory of Vihangam Yoga meditation. Thank you. Over to you, Subhash.
Thank you very much, Vijayji. You mentioned very rightly, being at the present moment is the most important thing. We are talking about mindfulness. If any one of the listener has any question, please put it on the WhatsApp number +1 646 653 4926, or you can put your question on slido.com/VYGOS. We are talking about mindfulness. Are we talking about overwhelming feeling? Are we talking about stress? Are we talking about emotions? Are we talking about sensory organs, or depression, meditation, self-reflection, or probably interrogation, self-interrogation? We are discussing about mindfulness, and all these words which I said are very much linked to the mindfulness. Today, we have our speaker from USA. Let me give a detailed description about our today's speaker, Dr.
दो दिन का मेहमान मन ने के कर ले, दो दिन का मेहमान, जो रूलर का कुटुंब कबीला, दो दिन का तन मन का मेला, जो रूलर का कुटुंब कबीला, दो दिन का तन मन का मेला, अंत काल हंस जाए अकेला, तज माया मनने की कर ले 2 दिन का मेहमान। कहाँ से आया कहाँ जाएगा, तन छूटे मन कहाँ समाएगा। कहाँ से आया कहाँ जाएगा, तन छूटे मन कहाँ समाएगा। आखिर तुझको कौन कहेगा, गुरु बिन आत्म ज्ञान मनने की कर ले 2 दिन का मेहमान। कौन तुम्हारा सच्चा साई, झूठी है ये जग असनाई। कौन तुम्हारा सच्चा साई, झूठी है ये जग असनाई। कौन ठिकाना है तेरा भाई, क्या बस्ती क्या नाम मनने की कर ले 2 दिन का मेहमान। 184 भोगे तासा, ऊंच नीच घर लेता बासा। 184 भोगे तासा, ऊंच नीच घर लेता बासा। कह कबीर कह कबीर सुनो भाई सारो, ले ले गुरु का नाम मनने की कर ले 2 दिन का मेहमान। मनने की कर ले 2 दिन का मेहमान। 2 दिन का मेहमान मनने की कर ले 2 दिन का मेहमान। सदगुरुदेव की जय। Over to you, Subhash ji.
Thank you very much, Sankalp ji, for this beautiful bhajan, where through this bhajan, everyone has been made aware and appeal that what should we do in our life, the real prayer for the Supreme. Now, moving further towards our end side of this forum, question and answer, we are discussing about mindfulness, and we have Dr. Subhash Chandra from USA, who just spoke about mindfulness. In this question and answer session, again, I would like to welcome Dr. Subhash on the forum for some questions. Dr. Subhash, you mentioned few things about the mindfulness. Probably I would go through about 1 or 2 questions only, because we have to honor the time. We have roughly 10 minutes left with us. So one thing, what I want to ask you is, you mentioned describing mindfulness is about being non-judgmental. So when we say non-judgmental, does this mean that at the time when we are doing whatever being mindfulness process, we don't have to think anything, or we just be calm, quieter, non-thinking, just being an observer, or actually mind is doing something at that time point?
Subhash ji, I think you answered the question yourself very precisely, because mindfulness is awareness in action, or you are applying the awareness, and because on its own awareness does not have judgment in it. Judgment is a thought that arises within awareness. So as you said in the question, as you told that, is there a thought? No, there is no thought. You are tasting the raisin, but you're not thinking about it. The moment you think, you will have that judgment, whether it is sweet, whether it could be more sweet. So it is just an awareness of the moment. Over to you.
Yes. One more thing you mentioned is that when we do mindfulness practice, it is more linked to the sense organs and its experience. And at the end, you mentioned that Vihangam Yoga, the science of consciousness, is different from mindfulness. So that means we are talking about two different entities. One is the mind associated with the sense organs, and other side is the consciousness. So can you please little bit elaborate it more for the listeners to make a difference, how the consciousness is different from the mind?
Here I would take the most common example that we always use, and I myself have heard it from many Vihangam yogis. In being mindful, there is nothing about the owner of the chariot, which is the soul. So there is no consciousness. We don't even discuss about the self, the origin of the self. So if I have to put it in an example or simplify it, I would say that here the charioteer, the person who is running that chariot, and 5 horses are there trying to take the chariot away in different directions, but the charioteer is being aware in that moment that he is a charioteer. He is the one who is running this chariot. And he is not trying to control any of those 5 horses. That will what will be mindfulness. Here, there is nothing about the soul even. It is just about the Sarthi, who is realizing that he is a Sarthi, and he is not even thinking about those 5 horses. That is what mindfulness would mean in this most common example we widely use, where soul is the occupant of that chariot. Over to you.
Thank you, Subhashi. There is one very interesting question on slide also, and I'm trying to link it, whatever we just discussed. The question is actually why it is difficult for the person himself who put the question, why it is difficult for him or her to practice the meditation every day consistently. Is it true that practicing mindfulness method is more easy and doing the real meditation is difficult? If at all, yes, why it is so?
Again, the question is very interesting and very logical. Mindfulness is more about building the muscles of the brain. Just like building your body and building your biceps. We all want to have a beautiful body, but only few of us have the motivation to go to gym. So whether it is mindfulness or meditation of consciousness, science of consciousness, both need the motivation. Now coming to the part easy versus difficult. You don't want to go to the gym, but you want to have a beautiful body, and you are trying some Surya Namaskar every day in 3 minutes in your room. and that is easier for you to do. It won't give you that good, well-developed biceps, triceps that the models would have. And here by male models, I'm trying to exemplify, just for the sake of understanding, the sadhus of Vihangam Yoga who have reached the 5th stages. So yes, you will feel better in that moment while you are doing Surya Namaskar for 3 minutes. Yes, it will make you feel little bit happy, little bit stress-free, little bit energetic, but nothing more. So it will be easier to do, but it won't be the real muscle building exercise. I hope by this analogy, I have been able to give an appropriate answer. Over to you.
Yeah, it is very clear, I think. Just a last question, I think, on the basis of the time. You mentioned about resin method of one type of practice where practitioner take the resin in the mouth and try to sense it through different sense organs, right? So here, is this, I mean, it's just my curiosity, why resin? I mean, can it be something else or anything it can be? Maybe it can be a sweet, it can be chili, or it can be anything? Or is it just a resin is just one example of like this?
Again, Subhashji, I'm glad you brought this up. I think it's not about the resin. And it's not about the sweetness or the chilliness, because it is not the taste that you have to perceive. Because as you remember, you are not there to be judgmental. You are not there to perceive the taste, but you are just to be aware. So there are other examples of mindfulness. One is mindful walking. So in that mindful walking, you walk early morning on the grass with bare foot. Before, you never try to be aware that how your toes touches the grass, then your heel touches, then your toe, then your heel. You're not thinking about how soft the grass is, or is it hurting? Is there any spike anywhere? So that is mindful walking. So being aware without interpretation is mindfulness. So that question, the answer to your question would be, it can be anything based on my knowledge and interpretation. That is what my answer would be. And it would have nothing to do with the taste, but the awareness. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Subhash. It was really very nice being with you, talking to you. I have fully enjoyed the discussion with you, and I'm sure all the listeners also have enjoyed it. Once again, thank you very much for being with us today on this forum. And now, moving towards the end, we would seek for the Shanti part, the World Peace Prayer, and thereafter I will quickly summarize today's discussion.
Before, I'm sorry to interrupt, but thank you for having me in this forum as a speaker. As we all know that this forum is of highly knowledgeable, experienced people, so it is my privilege to be able to share any thoughts on mindfulness. Jai Sadgurudev.
Thank you very much, Dr. Subhash. The Shanti part, please.
विराग त्याग की शांति हो, उदासीनता शांति, सेवा जित शिष्य शांति हो, सत्य शांति हो शांति। हे प्रभु शांति स्वरूप हो, शांति शांति मय शांति, शांति शांति जन शांति हो, पूर्ण शांति मय शांति। प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति, देव सदा फल शांति में, शांति शांति सुख शांति। हे प्रभु शांति प्रदान कर, दूर हो सर्व अशांति, देव सदा फल शांति में, शांति शांति सुख शांति।
just to summarize today's discussion, mindfulness is nothing but being aware, non-judgmental, and without any interpretation, paying attention at the present moment. For this, mind works with the sense organs, and there is nothing too much of there is not too much of relationship between the mindfulness and the science of consciousness. That's what we learned and heard from Dr. Subhash today. Doing mindfulness practice and doing Vihangam yoga practice, the science of consciousness, these are two different things. One should try and put the effort to move towards the science of the consciousness. And that's what the aim of the life also is. Thank you very much for joining us today for this particular forum where we discussed today the mindfulness. And once again, thank you very much to Dr. Subhash, Vijayji, and Sankalpji to join us today. Thank you and Jai Sadgurudev.